Welcome friends, I believe I have finally figured out who these turbo Mazdas are for. Right now I'm checking out the 2025 CX-30 Turbo Premium Plus, the top of the line model. MSRP on this, $39,100. That is quite steep for a vehicle of this size, especially since this is not a luxury branded vehicle. It is still a humble Mazda, but I believe these vehicles are meant for a wealthy client who wants to fly under the radar without sacrificing any of the refinement or luxuries that you would find in a true luxury branded vehicle. So with these turbos, you have effortless power and thrust. When utilizing premium fuel, you get 250 horsepower and 320 pounds-feet of torque. So you have more torque here than a E92 BMW M3. According to Car and Driver, you can do 0 to 60 in about 5.6 seconds. Which is quite brisk. These Mazdas are also rather comfortable and rather quiet. In fact, within its class, I think these Mazdas are the quietest in the segment. I recently just got done reviewing a Honda Civic hybrid hatchback, and I was just gushing over how good that vehicle is. I find that these Mazdas are quieter still than something like a hybrid hatchback Civic, which is quite impressive. We can attribute a lot of that to the tires as well. We have brilliant Bridgestone Turenza tires. For many years now, they have served as quiet, refined tires with very low rolling resistance while still offering great grip out in the street, both in the dry and in the wet. Your everyday handling with pretty much all of these Mazdas, it is excellent. You have plenty of confidence taking your everyday left-hand, right-hand turns, your long sweeping corners, and the high-speed stability is great as well out on the highway. So truly, in many regards, you are getting a luxury-esque, almost like an Audi-esque driving experience for a fraction of the cost. When you go with a lot of these turbo Mazdas, you just need to go out to your local dealerships and test drive this stuff for yourself. I mean, I've driven pretty much every iteration of these Mazdas throughout the years, and these vehicles have consistently provided me with a quality driving experience. Whether I drive an entry-level model with the naturally aspirated four-cylinder or these top-of-the-line turbo vehicles, doesn't matter, they've all been great. So if this is so good, then what does a true luxury branded SUV or vehicle have to offer? Well, they're typically going to be like 5% better in just about every area, including quietness, comfort, smoothness, etc. For instance, if you do truly end up going with like an Audi or a BMW, you're just going to get a vehicle that lacks torque steer, because that is one of the cons driving these turbo Mazdas. You do get some torque steer when driving aggressively. That's going to be alleviated with the true luxury vehicles. Your at-limit handling is also going to be better. Okay, you can end up driving a luxury vehicle that weighs more than this, but ends up handling and driving better due to superior suspension architecture and suspension technology. You will most likely end up with a slightly smoother drivetrain as well. So all of these attributes, they just combine together to give you a holistically superior driving experience, but you end up paying tens of thousands of dollars more to get that experience. And practically in the real world, these high-end Mazdas are offering all of the refinement and quickness that you need to not only feel effortless, but to also feel relaxing and tranquil as well. And that's why myself and so many other journalists are just so high on these Mazdas. They are so good and they transcend their price tag for the most part. And here's the thing, you don't have to spend close to 40 G's for something like this. A CX-30, it starts at around 25 grand before destination. So it's a multi-purpose product that's serving clients within multiple budgets. So if you can't quite afford the turbo models, don't worry about it. The naturally aspirated four-cylinder is just fine, even in the larger CX-5. I'm totally satisfied with that engine. Plus, you get better real-world fuel economy with the NA engine anyway. And with these SUVs, you get the all-wheel drive as standard, and you get the useful safety tech features as standard as well, like the blind spot monitoring and the rear cross-traffic alert. So for the average family, you pay for that entry-level $25,000 CX-30, you're going to be just fine with that without compromising. And for those wealthy clients who don't care for the luxury brand and want the practical things for the street, you're going to be really satisfied with any turbo Mazda. Now, cons regarding this vehicle, while fuel economy is not that great with these turbos, for the CX-30, it's rated to get 22 city, 30 on the highway. But here's the thing, if you're a bit more lead-footed, you're going to get below those EPA estimates. Plus, if you want optimal performance, you're going to be putting premium fuel in here. So with the subpar fuel economy and premium fuel prices, that's not a great combination. And that's where something like a hybrid hatchback Civic comes into play. That was a vehicle that I absolutely loved and enjoyed, and was really refined as well due to the hybrid drivetrain. And it's got nearly the same level of thrust as something like these turbo Mazdas. It's just that the hybrid Honda didn't quite have the same level of top-end power that these Mazdas have to offer. Regardless of that, you're getting like 50 mpgs with nearly the same level of performance around town, while offering you more space than this CX-30 SUV. That's right. Both with the rear seats up or down, you have more cargo capacity in something like a Civic hybrid hatchback. So that's the other issue with a lot of these Mazda vehicles. They tend to be on the smaller side. They tend to offer less cargo capacity than its competitors. That's something to watch out for. A lot of people comment saying that, oh, the Mazda is fine for them, the size works out for them. That's great, but there are other people in this world who want to maximize their value per dollar and actually have, families and things to fit inside of their vehicles, baby strollers, car seats, mountain bikes, etc. So for those individuals, I just want to let you know, something like a Mazda 3, a CX-30, these are very tight vehicles regarding space. It's okay, it can certainly work out for some people, but I just want to bring that to your attention. But the other main issue with something like the Civic is it's a sedan and it's rather low slung. So if you're a bit older, it might be a little difficult to get in and out of a Civic hybrid. You won't have that issue with the CX-30. The ingress and egress, it is brilliant. So it's just a lot of things to think about here, and we haven't even gotten to the interior space yet. So the interior of these Mazdas, I find this to be better than just about anything else in its class, including the Hondas. This is a more plush and luxurious place to spend time in. Once again, a more simplistic and almost Audi-esque interior. Okay, cons with this interior, it's going to be the use of piano black plastic. I really wish car companies would stop using that and give us some type of a matte textured plastic. Okay, other than that, the only other complaints I have, other than the size, is the lack of features, even in this top of the line model. I said the same thing in the hybrid hatchback Civic as well. But here with this Mazda, we do not have cooled seats in the front. We don't have heated seats in the back. And this passenger seat in the front, it is mechanically controlled. In this top of the line, near $40,000 vehicle, I want to see electronically controlled passenger seats. Okay, but those are the only real cons that I have with this. Other than that, this is a truly beautiful interior space. We have this tri-colored interior with the white seats, brown leather on the dash and on the armrests, along with black being used as well. Plus, once again, the plushness of this interior, the fit and finish, all of that is on point. We have an easy to use infotainment screen. We do have a rather crispy 360 camera here. That is great to see. Very high quality, and that's something that was missing with a top of the line Honda that I tested. Seats are comfortable. You have good adjustment. Plus, I find that the Bose audio system in the Mazdas are better than a lot of its competition, including Honda. I'm not an audiophile, but to my ear, this Bose audio system, it sounded better than the one I recently tested in the Civic Hybrid hatch. So let's recap here. Once again, what do these turbo Mazdas do better than its competition, and what allows this to be nearly a luxury-esque driving experience? Once again, that comes down to its turbo power performance, very effortless out on the road. These vehicles are rather quiet, they're pretty smooth, the ride quality is great. With these higher end trims, the Bose audio system is genuinely one of the best and even rivals some luxury car audio systems. And you get all of this in the Mazda brand, so if you don't want to drive a pretentious vehicle, you want to stay away from the luxury car brands without sacrificing too much, then definitely look into these vehicles. But keep in mind, the CX-30, it's a bit on the small side. For the same price as this Premium Plus CX-30 Turbo, you can get the Carbon Turbo CX-5, and you can also get a mid-trim CX-50 Hybrid. Okay, that CX-50 Hybrid, it utilizes the Toyota hybrid drivetrain, so it doesn't get much better than that. Although the CX-50 Hybrid, it is a bit more crude in its driving nature compared to these turbo Mazdas. The engine is not quite as smooth, it's not quite as quick, but you do get amazing fuel economy with that vehicle. So something to keep in mind there. But for like 99% of people, I would really suggest stepping up to the CX-5. That's going to be a much more practical vehicle for most people. Okay, on average, you save about like $3,000, depending on the equivalent trim level between CX-30 and CX-5. But really, whatever that extra cost is, you're better off just paying that up front to get the larger vehicle to suit your family's needs. And once you get up to the higher trim levels, honestly, like a carbon turbo Mazda CX-5 is going to offer you plenty of features for sure. Plus, it looks great as well. And if you want to spend a bit more, you can get that CX-5 turbo signature with the Napa leather seats. That's truly going to give you a very luxurious cabin. So I bring all of this up so you can make an educated purchasing decision on these high ticket items like a vehicle, right? So hopefully you appreciate this information. And since you made it to the end of this video, I do have a resource that I can share with you if you want to save money on new Mazdas, and that is going to be AutoCompanion. AutoCompanion is one of the largest automotive concierge services in the United States, and he's got about 5% off the MSRP of pretty much every new Mazda aside from the Miata. He has partner dealerships in the Washington, D.C. area, but if you're not local to D.C., he does offer nationwide shipping, although shipping is something you have to pay extra for. He also charges a concierge fee to access his deals. If you go on his website and you mention my channel, Meyn Motor Group, he did say that he'll take some money off of his fee. So I really appreciate him doing that for my audience, because you're not only saving money on the vehicle, you're also saving time, and you're also saving on potential junk fees that local dealerships tend to add to the vehicle. So tint fees, nitrogen fees, you don't have to deal with any of those shenanigans when you deal with AutoCompanion and his partner dealerships. So I will have all of AutoCompanion's information in the description box below. If you found value with this content, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.